Welcome back to Dubbzi Bricks for another Gotham City update. In the last update, we worked on the Flatiron-esque building there, which will be the Gotham Gazette. I have decided on that. All I need to do is work out how I'm going to be doing the signage on the front of the building and also finish the roof off. Now, with this build, I need to sort through all my Lego pieces, and I've got a massive pile of Lego that I need to sort through. And it's preventing me from, until I've sorted it, it's preventing me from finishing buildings like this. Finishing the Falcone warehouse, doing more work on the Joker Funhouse. But what I want to do at the moment is just build. So, but I do need to dedicate some serious time to sorting through the Lego so I can get these buildings all finished. It's like with the raised platform area here, and I was doing my Tantive build, I was sorting through some Lego and I came across a whole load of the 45-degree inverted slopes. So I can do more work on that now. However, I have ordered some from lego.com as well. So once that order comes in, which has also got parts for the Joker Funhouse, then I'll concentrate on getting those all done. But until I get a lot of the Lego sorted, some of these builds are going to stay half done for the time being. But at least it's enabled me to have a good think about other parts of the city, which is worthwhile doing, because I don't want to do complete something and then think actually it's the wrong size now that I've built other parts around it. So yeah, I think it's better to do it the way I'm doing at the moment. But rest assured, I will start finishing these builds off quite soon. Now, this is a section that I'm going to be turning my attention to in this update. A little while ago, we amended the wall here so it came at an angle and gave us some unique angles and shapes. And I want to sort the road section out here. So I still need to modify this part just here. I want to put a road in at a 45-degree angle. But once I've sorted the road out here, one thing I'm going to be doing is taking the Monarch Theatre over to my table and removing it from the mills plate. So that is going to be quite a big job, as I didn't expect to have to do that. So again, yeah, that is something I want to do. And then once we've done that, we can then move that down to this area here, and then we can make a start on the building that's going to go the other side of it. So we've got Crime Alley down the middle. So yeah, exciting times ahead. But what we're going to start off by doing, let's get some grey bricks out, make a road to go around this section, and then I can work out how I'm actually going to do the pavement. And now the fun and games begin with the road section, and I need to join these two sections up here. So this one's at the 45-degree angle. Now I was originally thinking about using slopes, so I'd have the slopes on here and then we'd have some inverted slopes on there, and then hopefully that would join up. However, I'm thinking that using tiles is going to be the better option. So I'll make this section a rectangle, so it's got a nice straight edge down here. And on here, for every 2 studs on there, it's equivalent of 1 brick and 2 plates. So I'll just put a 2x plate on the bottom of this brick here, and that'll leave a perfect square there. I'll then build the road out to here, again, and stagger it all the way along. And then what I'll do, I'll get some of the 45-degree tiles and then make that perfect line going across. That way, the two should join up seamlessly, and hopefully I'll be able to do the same there as well. So I'm just hoping that this theory does work out. I can't see any reason why it wouldn't. One thing I will need to do, though, is order in the 45-degree tiles. I don't think I've got anywhere near enough to get this done from the order I've just placed. I ordered some for my Tantive mock, and I did order a few extra, but nowhere near enough to do this whole lot. But at least we can get it all ready for the tiles to come in. Where the corners of these bricks are, that'll be where the road will rest against, so it will still show whether or not it's going to work or not. But anyway, let's carry on building the roads up and we'll check back in once we've done so. And I think we're getting somewhere with this road section. It is proving to be a little bit challenging in places, trying to work things out, but yeah, we're getting there. These gaps, they do at first glance look like they are going to be perfect for the tile to go in there, so I will try and dig some out in a moment and just fill that gap in. Now, one problem I am going to have is down this end, and if you see just here, ideally I want the road to stop right on the corner of this brick. However, it's not quite working out at the moment. So what I'm going to need to do is strip off this row of bricks. So I've finished the brick wall where that line there is, for that 4x1 brick. And I'll put some snot bricks along the edge of this, and then put a row of plates and a row of tiles, and until I get it as close as possible to that. And then fingers crossed that will do the trick. Now, if the snot brick doesn't work, I can always use brackets because they're a little bit thinner. they're half a plate in thickness, so I'm sure there'll be one combination or another which is going to enable us to get that looking just right. Now, in regards to this road section, it is one plate wider than this section here, and that's just so it can be wedged in between these filler bricks here, so it's not moving anywhere at all. Now, I don't want to have the bricks on here if I can help it. What I'd ideally like to do is have it so that there are tiles on the bottom, so I can then put my plates at the 45-degree angle as well, so that they're all running, the tiles on top of it are all running the same as the ones along the side. So again, it's just another thing that I've got to think about on techniques, how I'm going to get it all to stay in place. But yeah, let's carry on building this road section up, do that part there, amend this one, and then we'll concentrate on the pavements. And I managed to find out some of the 45-degree tiles. I thought I'd just show you how it's coming along. And I've put the brackets in here with a tile on the end, and it's filled the gap absolutely perfectly. So really pleased with how that has come out. And all I need to do is just replace these tiles with dark bluish grey. But it's nice to know that we've solved that problem. The only thing I'm struggling with a little bit is getting the lines correct in the middle here. Unless I make it an odd length, we'll go down to lines that are just 2 studs in length. I'm not sure, but at the moment I can't get it so that it looks like it just naturally goes round the bend there. And here again, the gap here is a little bit bigger than between those two, but I could always spread these out a little bit more, but that's something we can work on further down the line. Because these are modular, we can just pull them out and carry on, but I don't want to waste too much time just trying to get my head around that part at the moment. But anyway, what we're going to do now, I'm going to turn my attention to the sidewalks on here and see if we can get the pavements worked out. As I mentioned previously, I want to have these so they are at a 45-degree angle. So yeah, let's carry on with that, and I'll check back in once I've done so. And the experiments continue with the sidewalks here. And I've put some snot bricks either side of the road section here. And what I'm thinking about doing is attaching them to the snot bricks. That way they are perfectly in line with the road because they're attached to it. And I don't have to worry about hinge pieces. So that is a good positive side to it. The one problem I'm having with doing it this way is that there are very slight gaps when it comes to the plating behind it. So if I put this on here, for example, there is just half a plate difference between the two there. So I'm not sure how I lose it, whether or not I just leave it there. It could be some form of guttering, I suppose, not sure. But the only other option I've got is I could tile this, put a plate on there, and then tile over the top of it. So I just need to try and work out what the best way around it is going to be. Because I'm having the Monarch Theatre on this corner, that has got an angle on the front of it as well, so I could potentially lose it in there. And I don't think it's going to make that much difference if there are steps around the pavement section of this particular part of the build, due to the fact it is outside the theatre. On this side just here, if I put the plate on there, it's just half a plate out. It's not quite working right on there. If I do it this one here and bring it out a little bit further, then there is again the gap just there. So yeah, it's just a case of trying to work out how I lose those little gaps. And it has been very time consuming trying to get this pavement area all done. However, I think I finally cracked it and got the gaps as small as possible. The only slight bit I'm not happy with is just here. It would have been nice if that went right the way up to it. But yeah, you can't get everything perfect when you start working with angles like this. But it's close enough for me, so happy to leave it like that. Now, this section here, we're going to have the wall that goes along the side of the water, which is going to be at a strange angle. So this is going to be quite a weird shape in here. There's not a great deal I can put in there that's going to be of much value to the city build-wise. So I'm just going to put some bushes in there, or a tree or plants or something like that. Something that's going to give a nice pop of colour to that section of the build. But now we've worked out how to do the pavement sections like this, fingers crossed the other ones are going to be a lot quicker and easier to get sorted out. And that's the corner all finished off by the plants. And really happy with how this has come along. It looks nice and smooth. Put some cheese wedges on there just to give it a nicer finish, but you know me, I'll probably change that again. I plated this off using dark bluish grey, just in case you can see through the plants and see the bottom of it. I didn't want to see any multicolour parts. I thought I'd just go for one colour. However, I do intend on putting plenty of plants in there, so fingers crossed you won't be able to see anything. But it's so nice seeing the curb sides on here, and you're covering up more of the filler brick, filler plate, the base plates, and yeah, getting ready for the next building. So the Monarch Theatre, that's going to be going here, and that's what I'm going to be turning my attention to next. So we're going to strip that off of its mills plate, try and do a base that makes it stand alone, but I am considering just shrinking it just a little bit. At the moment it's going to come to about here, and by the time I put an alleyway in, it's only going to allow for a very thin building there. So if I can shrink the width of it just a little bit, that would be really useful for the look of the city here. And this is where we're going to have Crime Alley, so I will need to modify the curbside there and drop it down so the alleyway goes back that way. Anyway, let's bring the Monarch over to the table and let's start modifying it. And here is the Monarch Theatre, just resting in place on the mills plate at the moment. And I'm just trying to work out whether or not to shrink the build a little bit. And it is something that I thought could potentially be a good idea. I think if I could have reduced it in size just a smidge, it would have been better, because I could then put another building down the end there. However, due to the fact I'm using arches on these sections here, to reduce that size, I'd have to lose one whole section. So it would literally be from my hand to the right. And I just think that would then be too small compared with that section just there. So I think that is the size that it is going to be. I will have a little bit more to think about it, but yeah, that's where we're at with that. We're going to have Crime Alley just here, which is going to be about 8 studs wide. So we've then got this section here, which is going to work out, I think it's about 20 studs, 18 to 20 studs, depending on how wide I make the sidewall. So I can have some buildings going down there. I have some more coming down here as well. And I'm going to be modelling this off of the Batman Returns film, and the section where Batman's fighting the Penguin's villains and the dog catches the Batarang. So I thought that would look, though, that style would look really good just there. So that's the plan at the moment. The race platform, I was going to have it so it connected these two sections together. However, due to the slip road coming down here, the T-junction, I think there'd just be too much undercover. So that is something that's not going to happen. I'm going to have to put that, if I am going to extend the race platform over to the front of the city, it'll have to be down that end. But anyway, let's have a final think on the size of this Monarch Theatre. And once I've done so, I can then make a start on the base plate that it's going to stand on, or it's the plate that's going to stand on, and then we can start transferring the bricks over to the plate. And it's taken a few hours to get there, but we finally come up with a footprint for the building, which I'm happy with. And it's only 2 studs narrower in both directions than the original build, but I do think it's going to make quite a bit of difference. The 2 studs obviously means that I can make the other building, the other side, that little bit bigger. So it's just the knock-on effect that little difference has with the building. So now we've got that all made up, I can start transferring this build here onto the plate. And that was nice and smooth. Just realised that I have put bricks all the way to the top there, but I haven't put the top step in, so I just need to amend that. But I've moved the doorway from this wall here round to there, as Crime Alley will be on that side of the build. But all I need to do is just put that top step in, finish building the front up here, make some doors for it, and then tile the floor, and then that's it, job done. And here we have the Monarch theatre all in place, and I've just rested the larger versions of this back on the top until I can get those down to size, and that is something I'm going to be concentrating on over the next week or so. It'd be nice to get it all shrunk down, but I definitely think just by going the 2 studs narrower on there, it just makes such a difference to the overall look and vibe of this build. And the doors at the bottom here, I will be changing those over to either reddish brown or dark brown, and I've got to get some of these clips in the correct size. They were the only ones I had. And on this side I've used snot bricks, as it was a half plate difference, so by putting snot bricks on one side and the plates on the other, the doors work perfectly. And I think having the round parts there as well helps the doors to shut, as opposed to having a square edge on there. And also, it gives a bit more character. I will put some gold bars going down the doors on there, so I will order the clips in to do that as well. Now, with this floor here, when I shrink that down in size, one thing I am considering doing is putting some windows in there as well. I think it'd be quite good to have those. I think it will add a little bit of character, and I'll probably put the dark brown window frames in there as well, just to keep it looking nice and old looking. And I did find another half cone out the other day, and I've managed to misplace it, so I need to find that out again. And also next week, when I do this as well, I will also do the signage to go on the front of there, as I have got a dot set now which has got the letters in there, so that'd be good. So really looking forward to spending some more time on this mock in the coming weeks. Anyway, that's all we have time for. Hope you've enjoyed the update. If you have, please remember to give us a big thumbs up. If you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content on the channel. And if you know anybody else you think would be interested in building Gotham in Lego, if you could share the channel with them, it'd be much appreciated. Anyway, thanks for popping on by, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.